I didn't choose to write about Biafra. Biafra chose me. This is the reason, Chimma Amanda said. I have to say, I didn't choose to write about Biafra. Biafra chose me. My family survived the war. My parents lost everything they owned. My brother Chuks was born during the war. As millions around the world, especially people of the old eastern region, known as Biafran land, marks Year of Biafran Day to commemorate with Biafra fallen heroes. A novelist, cum feminist, Chimma Amanda Adichie, is not left out as she recalled how her parents lost everything they owned during Nigerian war against the Biafra in 1967 to 1970. Thank you to everyone who sent in questions about half of A Yellow Sun. I have answered some of them here. Today, May 30th is Biafran Remembrance Day. It has been 50 years since the end of the Nigerian Biafran War. In memory of Nwonye David Adichie and Aro Nweke Felix Odigwe, the grandfather of New Kafa Nedu na Ndokwa. May we always remember Biafra, Biafran Day, and Ozwemena, she wrote. Speaking during a session with readers to mark Biafran Day, she said, aside from the fact that both of her grandfathers died in separate refugee camps at the time, her family's life trajectory had been sharply changed and divided after their numerous losses. I have to say, I didn't choose to write about Biafra. Biafra chose me. My family survived the war. My parents lost everything they owned. My brother Chuks was born during the war. I would say that my family's trajectory was sharply divided and changed by the war. For me, there was before the war, the after the war. I was born 7 years after the war ended. But I always felt that it was present in our lives. Both of my grandfathers died in it, and I grew up hearing about them. I think I just have always wanted to make sense of this part of my history. Recounting her experience writing half of A Yellow Sun, Chimma Amanda said she would sometimes read about certain events and break down in tears, such that depression hit when she finished the book. According to her, not experiencing the war first hand contributed to the resilience that had prodded her, yet the task would later take a toll on her mental health due to personal accounts. Lots of research went into writing the novel. I wanted to get the facts right. I started researching Biafra when I was 12, that I wrote a terrible play about Biafra when I was 16, the author said. So I have been reading about Biafra for a long time, but when I really felt I wanted to write the novel, I looked at archives, listened to the newspapers from that period, looked at newspapers curtains. I wanted to immerse myself in that period, try and get a sense of what it felt like. Did writing half of A Yellow Sun affect my mental health? Yes, because this book was so much about my family. It was so much about what my parents and their generation went through. When researching, I would read something about a refugee camp and I would just stop and cry. I thought that it could very well have been when my grandfather died, because they passed away in two different refugee camps. Looking at pictures was also quite tough. Writing the book felt like being held by something. as though my ancestors wanted me to do this. I thought when I finish it, I will be free, but I sank into my deepest, darkest depressions. Thank you for listening to this news. Viewers, you see, this is an expression and feelings coming out from a popular writer. She's actually expressing how she feels and how she's feeling concerning the Biafran war. Every Igbo man that hears about it, that every Igbo man that witnessed the war and survived, or that didn't witness, that were born even before, that were born after the war, hears it, we still feel it. So I don't blame her, because it is painful hearing that your family passed through all this and you lost lot of loved ones during the war. This same reaction occurs in every true Igbo child whenever the story of Biafra is told. Every one of us, every family in Igbo nation has something painful, something traumatic to pen down. If Biafra was to be a book, forgetting Biafra is like forgetting your very roots and existence. We don't choose to agitate and fight for Biafra. Biafran chose us. It goes beyond physical freedom. It's more of freedom of conscience. They would have allowed Biafran to go at that time to prevent the genocide which later occurred if it was in a white man. If a white man is a simple thing to do. Just look at the defunct Yugoslavia in those days, the country that gave birth to Serbia, Czech, Montenegro. Today, those countries are doing fine, even more than Nigeria. We will never forget, it was a planned ethnic cleansing. I tell you, Biafra is a spirit that will never die in the life of the Eastern region. No matter how you divide us through politics and killing, it's in our blood. Nothing can wash it away unless Biafra is restored. So viewers, I tell you this once again, that there is nothing that can ever and will ever wash away the memory of Biafra off our forehead, because the memory is like an indelible mark that can never go off. Be it the fact that you were born during the war or after the war. If you are told the story, you will be touched. If you are reminded or told of the loved ones that departed or died during the war, you will be touched. Mine is a living example. I lost my grandfather during the war while he was trying to rescue my father and my grandmother, sending them away from Delta State because of in order to rescue them from the Asaba massacre. You can see how painful it is to be among those whose relatives and parents died during the Asaba massacre. How the Asaba people were deceived. My grandfather was among those that was massacred. So, my viewers, listening to the story being told, it gives me a lot of touchings and a lot of worries, and make me feel as if I make me feel as if I'm there, and also as if I've been given birth to, in order to challenge those Nigerian army. You know, so it's so touching. So no one will hear this and will not want to react. So please, I don't know if I've spoken your mind, but please don't forget to leave your comment behind. Click on the subscription buttons as well as bell button to receive more updates. Thank you.